All right. Hello, OCPS families. I am Kelly Balone, the Program Coordinator for Family and Community Engagement. And I want to welcome you to this special edition of our Parent Academy Virtual Mini Academy. Whether you're turning in live or watching the recording later at your own convenience, we're so glad you are here. Tonight's session is one that truly matters and hits home to me as a high school mama. Public Universities in Florida, State University Systems College Admissions Panel. High school students and their families will have the opportunity to meet our admissions representatives and gain valuable insight into Florida's public colleges and universities. Each representative will provide a brief overview of their institution and answer questions about their specific admissions process. Before we dive in, let's do a quick tech check. If you can hear us loud and clear, please drop a thumbs up in the chat using the reaction feature. Awesome. I see all those thumbs up. That's great. To enable closed captions and translations, you can click on the CC button and select your preferred language. And if you're watching this later, don't worry, we've got you covered. This session is being recorded and will be available on the OCPS Family YouTube channel. The link will be in the chat shortly. So be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss an update. If you subscribe today, you'll be notified as soon as this video is uploaded next week. Perfect if you'd like to review the sessions or share the valuable information with someone else. Feel free to pass it along to your friends, family, and other parents who could benefit from these insights. Webinar materials, all participants have access to a PDF copy of tonight's presentation. You can find the webinar materials on the information page linked in your registration confirmation email. Just look for the link labeled Webinar Materials. Now let's talk about tonight's powerhouse panel. We're proud to present this workshop in collaboration with our amazing colleagues from the University of Florida, the University of Central Florida, Florida Gulf Coast University, and the University of South Florida. Joining us are four phenomenal panelists. Beth Segal, the University of Florida Assistant Director, Office of Admissions. Maggie Kramer, the University of Central Florida Assistant Director, Office of Undergraduate Admissions. Jamari Jones, Florida Gulf Coast University Admissions Counselor and Undergraduate Admissions. And finally, Cameron Philpott, University of South Florida In-State Recruitment, Office of Admissions. They're going to walk us through key components of admissions and student profiles, campus culture, and share important and practical tips. They'll also be answering your questions live, so stay tuned, take notes, and don't be shy in the chat. We're here to support you every step of the way. All right, let's hear from our friends at the University of Florida first.
Hi, thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that warm introduction. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Thank you for everybody for being patient with me as I make sure that I do this in a way that works.
I think you got it, Beth.
All righty, and I'm now going to show you. Can you see my full
That looks
screen?
so great. Look at that.
Wonderful.
University
Okay,
of
here we
Florida.
go.
I love it.
All right, so welcome to the University of Florida. We're located in Gainesville, which should probably not be a surprise for most of you. We are a very large campus of over 2,000 acres, and actually we're in every county within the state of Florida, so we may be near where you are tonight as well. We're also large in our student population. So one of the things that I always talk to students about is that really the great opportunities that we offer up our student make it easy for everyone to kind of choose their own pathway so that they feel like they can find their place and their people and they belong. And we do this through three big areas: academics, costs, and community. So let's look at academics first. At UF, we have over 120 majors for students to choose from. And we have students who come to us who know exactly what they're going to do for the rest of their lives because we have a lot of professional schools that they're thinking of, like our pharmacy school, dental school, law school, medical school, and the only veterinary medicine school within the state of Florida. But to be honest, the thing is that when you're coming to UF, you're actually applying to the freshman class, not directly to your major. So you have that flexibility of time to be able to choose what it is that you want to do, to stay the course, or to change your mind if you're not quite sure that you're in the right place. We also have an amazing faculty available to our students. And of course, not only do we have a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio, but our faculty also hold office hours and connect with our students in a way that our students are familiar with in high school. They get to know their teachers and their teachers get to know them. One of the great benefits of this, of course, could be research. We are an R1 institution where students can start researching as soon as their freshman year. We're a land, sea, and space grant university, and we have an amazing office of undergraduate research that students can go to in order to get started in their research projects if they're not connecting with those professors or faculty in office hours to do it that way. Academically, we are also very excited because we've had our AI initiative going on for, well, now we're in our 4th year. And here, anyone across every single major, if they wish, can earn a certificate in AI with an emphasis in their area of study, even if it's an area of study that seems that it would be far removed. Cost, of course, is really important when you're looking at school. And I think it's something that students can actually find their pathway at UF because not only do we have a great low tuition, but first of all, every student who's admitted to the university is reviewed for any merit-based scholarships that we have. If they have the FAFSA on file with us, and by the way, that has opened up now, so it is available for seniors to complete and fill out. Then we're going to review them for financial aid. We also have that great student financial aid website that also has with that a search engine where students can look for more information and other scholarships as well. That means that in the long run, 92% of our students receive some aid in one form or another, and 75% of our students who are undergraduate are graduating debt free, which is an amazing pathway, I think, to be on. Of course, community is a great way for our students to find their home away from home in Gainesville. And I always suggest that students start with our clubs and organizations. We literally have over 1,000 of them, including a club that will help them find a club in case they can't find a club. So that's a little bit of fun there, but it really is a great way to feel like that they're going to find their people, find their place, and find a way to be active and involved. Another great way is to choose to live on campus. It is a choice to live on campus. Students are not required to live on campus, but they're also not guaranteed. So if a student is interested in living on campus, once they've turned in that application to the University of Florida, we recommend that they put in an application for housing at that time. It will place their name on that list so that they're able to hopefully receive housing if they are admitted to the university. That said, there is a lot of off-campus housing, and as long as a student has their UFID card, then they can ride our bus systems for free. All of this, of course, with all these different opportunities and choices lead to some amazing outcomes. And one of the great places that can help the students hit their goals, whatever it may be, is our Career Connections Center, which we are nationally ranked for. We're very excited about it. It's a great first stop for students who don't necessarily know what their major is going to be, because we have our experts who will help them figure that out. They're also a great place to go and get some help with writing a resume or finding an internship. 2/3 of our students do at least one internship. It's a great place to make those connections with those places where they're going to be looking for work in the long run. Having said that, I do want to highlight that there are different ways that students can be admitted. Every student, of course, is admitted as reviewed first and foremost for a residential pathway where they're starting in the summer or in the fall, but then continuing on on campus in Gainesville. But we also have these other pathways, including PACE, which is our Pathway to Campus Enrollment, which is a hybrid program with UF Online, but then students transition to on-campus in-person classes once they're starting their major. Innovation Academy, where everyone is within IA is having a minor in innovation. It's a very project-based, hands-on type of program, which is very exciting for our students. But they are meeting on campus and in person in the spring and the summer only. And then we have two very small programs that could be offered to students through Gator Engineering at Santa Fe or Gator Design and Construction in Santa Fe, where after a little bit of extra academic support and usually one semester, students are transferred fully over to UF. Having shown you that, we want to also talk about our honors program, which is a fantastic program for those who like an academic challenge. There are some really great benefits, including an honors village. We have some unique classes for our honors students, unique faculty, and they even get to register for classes a little bit early. If a student is interested in applying to honors, they should do so on their application to UF. And never fear, even if a student is not admitted to honors, they can still be admitted to the university. These are our dates and deadlines. We have both early action and regular decision. Neither one is binding. November 1st is coming up soon. January 15th for regular decision. And then you see we have materials deadlines where we're going to need from our students those academic materials that are listed in the holistic review, meaning the transcript information that they'll put onto the STARS form online, and test scores, because all public state universities require test scores, SAT, ACT, or CLT, and we will superscore. On the non-academic side, we are looking at the answers students are giving us for their short answer, their essay, their activities, their honors and rewards. And really, we always recommend that students just be really specific and detailed, because we do not do letters of recommendation. And so we're going to be doing this balanced review. With back to those dates, in January is when early action will be released with the decisions of admit, deny, or deferred to regular decision. And with regular decision, March 13th, it's admit, denied, some of those pathway programs that I mentioned briefly, and waitlisting. Putting that all together, we'd be very excited to have your student go ahead and apply to the University of Florida. And I recommend reaching out to us through our admissions website if you have specific questions. That's at admissions.ufl.edu, and we'd be happy to work with you. And later on, when you have questions, I'll be happy to answer those as well. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and I appreciate being here with you tonight.
Thank you so much, Beth. And parents and families, you will have access to all of this material in the webinar materials after the session. It's actually in your link. I just dropped that in the chat. I know personally I got my calendar out and I was writing some of those dates down because, like I shared earlier, I do have a high school student. So this is very, very, very important information for us families of high school of students. All right, so next up we have Maggie. Maggie is coming to us from the University of Central Florida. We're so glad you're here with us today. Maggie, I am going to give you access to our presentation and we'll get going.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all, and we will get going. Alrighty. How is that looking? Kelly, are we looking good? Sorry, I can't see you guys right now. I'm in my presentation. I just want to make sure you guys can see the slides.
I'm so sorry. It's coming up right now. I think we were able to do it. Just give me 1 second.
Of course.
Yeah, I can't quite see your screen yet.
Let's see.
I think it's coming up. There we go. We see your screen and your presentation. Thank you so much for your patience.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Alrighty, so my name is Maggie. I'm an assistant director in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. Today, I'm going to give you guys some great info about UCF. The first thing we like to tell you guys is that we are a large metropolitan research university located in Orlando, Florida. We do have almost 70,000 students who are enrolled in our undergraduate degree programs. That'll be split between our in-person programs, online programs, and multimodal courses. As you guys can see here on my slides, we do have over 100 different bachelor degree programs. These will range from engineering, hospitality, psychology, English, pre-med, pre-vet, pre-law, just about anything you guys can imagine. I do encourage everyone to please check out our website. We will have all of our majors listed, all of those requirements and classes that students will be taking. With such a large student body, we do, of course, have to be able to keep your students busy with academics and, of course, socially. So you guys can also see we've got over 650 clubs and organizations. Those are going to be student-led clubs and orgs. They will range from pre-professional groups, religious organizations, intramural sports, Greek life, a ton of fun events where your students can find community, make some great friends, and get involved on campus. And then the last fun fact I'd like to mention on this side is going to be our average class size. It is roughly 28 students to one professor. That usually will be seen a little later on in your student's career at UCF. As your first 2 years, you'll be in those general education program courses, which are going to be those larger lecture hall style classes. But once your student gets into their major specific coursework, into their lab classes, those classes will shrink pretty significantly, giving your student the ability to really connect with both their professor and their peers. I'm going to go over our admissions processes now. So very similar to UF, we do also offer early action. This is something new to UCF. This is going to be our second cycle offering early action to our applicants. As you guys can see here, we are currently in our early action timeline right now. It has been open since the first week of August. It opened up August 1st this year. And on October 5th, that is the first deadline. That is when we are going to require student applications. So that will include the application itself, either Common App or UCF's institutional app, whichever you guys prefer. Go ahead, send it to us. Make sure we have it by October 15th. 1 month later, on November 15th is when our material submission deadline follows. That will be the Spark form, any standardized exams, transcripts if we are requesting them. And then if you meet those two deadlines, the October 15th for the application and November 15th for the material submission, you will be hearing back from UCF with an admissions decision or a notification about that decision on December 5th. So pretty quick turnaround. We're trying to get our decisions out very quickly this year so that students have the option to know if UCF is a choice. They can hear back from their other schools and then make that final decision. A few things we like to highlight when we're talking early action. The first is you will receive consideration for our merit-based scholarships. These scholarships are based off of students' academic credentials, so that will include grades, GPA, testing scores. When you apply early action, there is no additional application. We will automatically be reviewing students to see if they meet the criteria we are looking for. The next thing is that students who apply early action and are admitted early action will have the earliest access to UCF's housing portal. Again, very similar to UF, housing is not required for any of our students, and it also is not guaranteed. So we do highly recommend applying early action in order to choose where you would like to live out of our 8 different residence halls on campus. And then you also will gain access to our roommate matching portal if you want to connect with some other admitted students, see if you guys are good matches and potentially live together in your first year at UCF. Finally, this decision is non-binding. There is no contract students will be signing. You're not required to come to UCF if you are admitted via early action. You'll still have until May 1st, which is that national decision deadline, to choose where your student would like to attend school. And if they choose UCF, you can secure the spot by sending us your enrollment deposit. We do also have regular decision. This is also known as UCF's rolling admission or rolling decision. This just means there is not a specified date when UCF will be releasing decisions. It's going to be based on when the student applies in the application cycle and the content and strength of their application. So you guys can see here, the application completion deadlines are as follows. Summer is March 1st, fall is May 1st, and spring is November 1st. And that is for a complete application. So that means application and all supporting materials are in our office. The same thing in regards to housing does apply for our regular decision. After students have been admitted, they then have access to that housing portal and the roommate matching portal. I'm just going to go over what a complete application looks like for UCF. So first is, of course, going to be the application itself. This can be UCF's institutional application or the Common App. We have absolutely no preference. All we ask is you only send us one application. We don't want both. We don't want duplicates. We just want one, or it gets a little bit confusing on our end. The next thing is a $30 application fee. This is due when you submit that application. This is how we are able to receive it and view the app itself. Please let us know if you need the fee waived. We're happy to take it out of your way. The next component is going to be our SPARK form. This stands for Self-Provided Academic Record Fortnights. It is a self-reporting tool where your student will get a copy of their high school transcripts, and then they will physically self-report the classes and the grades from those classes from their freshman through junior year. You'll go ahead and send it back to us. We are going to recalculate student GPAs on a UCF scale, giving more weight to any pre-AP, pre-IB, pre-ACE, or honors courses, as well as AP, IB, ACE, and dual enrollment. Next thing is going to be standardized exams. UCF does require standardized exams. We accept SAT, ACT, or CLT. You guys can send us a mix of all of them, as many as you want, really. We will take all of your exam scores. We ask each time you take or retake one, go ahead, send it to our office. We will also automatically superscore your exam scores for you so that when the application is being reviewed, the best score is what will be moved forward. And finally, we do also have our essay portion. This is optional but recommended. We do recommend it just to give our decisions committee a little bit more to go off of in terms of who your student is as a potential UCF student, kind of what they feel important, what is important about them, and what they want us to know about them. This is a fall admitted class profile. This is for our most recent class that started about 1 month ago in fall 2025. These are just some mid-ranges, so students kind of understand what we're looking for in a competitive applicant. That GPA is going to be UCF's recalculated GPA. And I like to tell you guys that when you apply for fall, you also are applying for spring and summer and will be considered for all 3 of our terms. I do also have some information on transferring to UCF if you are potentially a transfer student later on. A transfer student is going to have 12 or more college level credit hours after high school graduation, that keyword being after. If you are applying to UCF as a transfer student, we do recommend 6 months out. You are submitting your application, all supporting materials, paying any fees. You guys can go ahead and see those application completion deadlines right in the middle of the screen. The application requirements, or I should say your admissions requirements as a transfer student, are going to vary based on the number of credit hours you're coming to UCF with. And admissions preference is given to students who have an AA or an articulated AS degree from one of Florida's 28 other public, community, or state colleges. We do also have a physical center on campus. This is called our Transfer Center. It is a big building we have on campus dedicated to helping our transfer students. We know it can be a complicated process, so we want to make sure you guys have individualized support if you are a transfer student later on. And then the last thing in regards to transferring is going to be our Direct Connect partnerships. UCF has partnered with 6 local state colleges in order to make UCF more accessible to students. Essentially, if you attend one of those state colleges, that's going to be at the bottom of your screen. For the first 2 years, you receive your AA degree and you have at least a 2.0 GPA. You will be guaranteed admission into UCF. So really awesome way to start at one of these institutions, get that AA, transfer to UCF, and graduate with your bachelor's after 4 years. We do have some scholarship opportunities, the first being our merit-based scholarships. Like I mentioned earlier, you are automatically being reviewed when you apply early action. There's no additional application needed. They are going to be based off of those academic credentials. So again, grades, GPA, testing scores, and also timing. The earlier you can apply, the better chance you have of being awarded one of these scholarships. The awards will range from $6,000 to $42,000. That will be dispersed over the 4 years you're at UCF. And approximately 25% of our incoming freshmen are awarded these scholarships. We also do accept Florida Bright Futures, Florida Prepaid, and any external scholarships students may be awarded. We stack scholarships so students can really maximize on the amount of money that goes towards their education. We do also have a transfer merit-based scholarship. This one does require a separate application, and you must be beginning in a fall term to qualify. If you guys have more questions on it, please check out our website or contact that transfer center that I mentioned. They'll be able to give you guys some assistance. Alrighty, I'm going to briefly go over this application timeline. It's just going to sum up everything we kind of went over. So for my freshman applicants, August to September is when you are going to be submitting your application, paying your fee, submitting your SPARK form, and taking or retaking any standardized exams. Research scholarships that you may be able to apply for, and check out our open house, which is called Night for a Day. We have 2 coming up in October, which you guys are able to register for right now on our website. October to December, you're submitting FAFSA, making sure all financial aid is good to go, and checking out on-campus housing if that is what you would like to do. January to April, you're going to update us with your senior year, or I should say, sorry, yes, your senior year grades on that Spark form. We will reopen the Spark for those students. You guys can update us with those final grades. You're going to attend your open house, submit that enrollment deposit if you have chosen to attend UCF, and sign up for orientation. That's very important. May to August, you are attending your orientation and registering for classes at said orientation. For transfer students, this is a 2-day mandatory event. It is on our main campus. You guys will sleep over. It's a lot of fun, and that's where you actually get to pick out your classes. So make sure to sign up and please attend that orientation. For my transfer students, 1 year out, we recommend you check out that transfer center, connect with a success coach. You're going to attend a transfer to be night info session to make sure you have all of the information you need before transferring, and then check out any courses that are required for your intended major. 6 months out, you are submitting your application, paying your fee, and submitting all academic documents prior to that deadline, pretty please. Make sure your financial aid is good to go, whether that is scholarships or FAFSA, and research housing, whether it is going to be on campus or off campus. Finally, after you have been admitted, register and attend your transfer orientation. That is a 1-day mandatory event, and the same thing goes. You'll be meeting with an academic success coach to plan out your first semester of classes. So again, very important to sign up and pretty please attend. Send us any last bits of info we need, and you are good to go. Alrighty, and if you guys ever have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. Everything I've told you today can be found on our website. We have so much information out there. We've got a really great FAQ section for any students or parents who are looking for just some general information. You guys are always more than welcome to give us a call, send us an email. We do also have an online chat option on our website. And if you're ever in the Orlando area and you want to stop in and talk to somebody like myself or one of my lovely colleagues, we do have open office hours in our Duke Energy Welcome Center, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We are here to help you guys. All right, that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Maggie. That was such valuable information. Would you be able to put your contact information in the chat? I know I have your colleagues, but I want to make sure that we get yours in there as well. So if you wouldn't mind just putting on that in the chat while I'm getting Mr. JJ up for his presentation.
For sure, you got it.
Thank you. All right, JJ, let's get you on there.
Let's do it.
All right, JJ, I think you're ready to go. All right, you are on the stage. We see your slideshow. It's not in presentation mode if you're able to make that. There we go. Looks great.
Is it in presentation mode?
Now you're good. Yes.
Good. All right, perfect. All right, well, thank you all for having me again. My name is Jamari Jones. I do go by JJ as well, so I'm an undergraduate admissions counselor at FGCU. So that just means I help evaluate, answer questions, help make decisions on the application. So we are located in Fort Myers, Florida, or Estero, Florida, however you want to coin it. Not too far away from the Central Florida area, about 2 or 3 hours away. And here at FGCU, we're considered a smaller to medium-sized regional comprehensive university. So that pretty much means we have a lot of partnerships with local businesses to give students a lot of opportunities to get some hands-on experiences, given that we are the regional university in the area. So on average, it's about 33 students in per class, once you get into your major, of course, and we do have a 22-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So it is a much more student-centered learning environment at the university as opposed to lecture halls. And then because of those opportunities to connect with professors, given that 4 out of 5 classes are taught by, full-time faculty members, it gives students some great opportunities to grow relationships, which helps when it comes to job placements once you graduate. So we also have a service learning component to our degree where you have to acquire at least 80 hours of service learning before you graduate with your degree, on top of your internship. So that gives you opportunity to go out and get some connections in the community that will kind of help you. And it also allows you to be more competitive once you do graduate, because you're kind of forced to go out and actually do a little bit more. So if you do it the right way, it is a great opportunity. And then we do have 15 Athletic One teams. We support all Division One, and as well as around 130 student-ran organizations. The university is only 28 years old, so it's the grandbaby of Florida Public University. So it is the youngest, but we are growing super fast. So we offer 66 undergraduate degrees. I won't go over all of the majors, but some of the ones that kind of stand out, we have a PGA golf management program, which is only 16 institutions in the country that offer it. FGCU is the only one in the state of Florida. And this is really geared towards students that really have aspirations of careers within the golf industry, whether it's on the greens or in country clubs, teaching, whatever the case may be. Resort and hospitality is a little bit different than you would get in like a Central Florida area, because there's no big theme parks or anything here. So it's more high-end hotels, restaurants, things of that nature. And then anything marine, I feel like it's great for students just because we're right on the Gulf Coast. So you have a lot of opportunities to go out and get hands-on experience in the ocean. And then also nursing down south is always going to be a great opportunity for a lot of students, where you have students that pass the NCLEX exam at 100% rate the past 2 years, but on average, it's about a 99.7% rate. But the main thing with all of the majors is that you're really going to be immersed in what you want to learn, and it's a lot more student-centered. This will be the freshman housing here on campus. So this is South Village. Around campus, we refer to it as SOVI, but we do offer 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom suites in our resort-style living complexes for students. And it's about 84% of freshmen that stay on campus every year. So it's about 2,000 freshmen that come through SOVI every year. And they have a lot of different things there for students, like all-you-can-eat dining, as well as, movie theaters, game rooms, and like I said, it's only 28 years old. So everything's super modern, super sleek around the university. So it's a really great opportunity for students that want to stay on campus, but it isn't required to live on campus. But who would say no to this, So then this will be like pretty much the heart of campus, where a lot of students go to disperse. So everything's super close together. Once you come into FGCU, it's really in its own little world. So it's a lot of opportunity because we do have about 800 acres of land on campus. 400 of those acres are preserved. So we are a green school. So we have a lot of wildlife on campus, a lot of, I've seen wild otters run across campus, wild turkey, of course, gators, snakes, different animals on campus. But it's one of those campuses where, it's easy to kind of just stay focused, just because it's not a lot of moving pieces. So while it is 16,000 students on campus, it never really feels like it. And some students thrive in environments like that. So every class on average is about eight minutes apart. So you can stack classes easily here and allocate time to do different things, because you're not spending much time traveling from class to class. So, it's another perk that you have being a smaller to medium-sized school. Then when it comes to time to apply, we do accept applications through Common App or the FGCU website. We have our own application. We do not have a preference there, but you have to keep in mind, you have to submit official documents. So we do not accept any student self-reported documents. So everything must come in officially through the test websites or directly from the high school counselors. So transcripts and test scores must be sent officially. And another thing, if you are a freshman and you're doing dual enrollment and you will graduate with an AA degree, you can actually apply test optional to the university. You would just have to indicate that you're going to be earning that AA degree and you want to be considered as a freshman receiving an AA. But the only difference is you'll qualify for a freshman transfer scholarship as opposed to freshman scholarships if you apply as a freshman receiving an AA degree. So when it comes to dates and deadlines, like many others, August 1st, the application opened up. November 1st is the early action deadline, which means you have to have an application in by November 1, and you have to have your test scores and transcripts, at least one set, on file by November 15th in order to be considered early action. And that will grant you a top priority consideration for merit scholarship, as well as you'll get a decision by the new year. So I always tell students, if you want to build out a top 2, top 3 based on these factors, you want to make sure you're applying early action, because it is not non-binding. So it's just an opportunity. And then if you decide not to, we do have March 1st as our regular decision deadline, with March 15th being the supplemental item deadline. So you can continue to submit, test scores as you go on. But I would just say it's just better to just apply early. But once March 1st comes around, or if you're applying regular decision, we're just going to make decisions on a rolling admissions basis. There is no guarantee of when you will have a decision as opposed to early action. And then when it comes to cost for a Florida resident, it's about $6,000 in tuition on a yearly basis, in which the tuition hasn't increased in 11 years. So you can kind of look at it like a fixed cost, if you will. And this is assuming that you're taking 15 credit hours per semester, or in other words, you're doing 10 classes in a year, 5 in the fall, 5 in the spring, 4 in the fall and spring, 2 in the summer. However you divvy up those 10 classes, it'll come up to about 6,000. And if you decide to do on-campus housing and meal plans, it is optional, so it's not required, but it is recommended, of course. Then it'll be closer to 19 to 20,000 for a Florida resident on a yearly basis. So I always say just make sure you apply early action so that you can be considered for our freshman merit scholarships. So you'll see here for our Florida residents, we have President's Gold and Silver scholarships, which range from 3,000 to 5,000 that you can get reoccurring over 4 years. And this is kind of in the works right now to bring in some more scholarship. So, but for right now, what we do know we have still and will remain is the President's Gold and Silver. So that's 3.5 weighted GPA at a minimum, and then at least a 1220 on the SAT, or a 25 on the ACT, or a 85 on the CLT. And these will stack with any Florida prepaid that you receive, any Bright Futures, any outside scholarships you receive. And then we have an FGCU Foundation scholarship, which opened up October 1st, as well as the FAFSA. So you can apply for this even before you've been admitted. As long as you have an application in and a student number, you can fill out the foundation scholarship. And it's a portal of over 1,000 scholarships that FGCU donors write out for FGCU students. So this would stack with those scholarships as well, which is one of the biggest reasons why, you have 62% of FGCU students that graduate zero debt from the university. So it's a way for everybody to do it. You just kind of have to understand what you need to do. So last but not least, just a few tips I think will help you as you go through the admissions process through FGCU. Apply early, just because I think it'll help you understand what it is that we're looking for. So we'll either say, hey, you're admitted, or B, we're going to place you on a hold and we'll let you know if we want to see a higher GPA with the mid-year transcripts, or if we want to see you go back and retake the test to submit some more competitive test scores. And then taking the standardized test multiple times is always advantageous for a student, because you have to utilize the SuperScore as a tool, to your advantage. So if you know which test you take the best, just take that one test as many times as you can, so that we have more of that test that we can take the highest reading and math sections from. And I will say, even if you apply early action and you don't have the test score requirement that you need, you can go back up through March of your senior year and keep retaking that test to be reconsidered for the merit scholarship. So that will help you out. And then just know who the counselor is. So I'm the counselor for the region. Just feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, and I will be here to answer questions once the last presenter concludes. So thank you all for listening, and I look forward to answering your questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jones. If you would put your contact information in the chat so our families can have that. While we're getting ready for our next presenter, Ms. Cameron from the University of South Florida. I am so excited to have you come and share with us as well. Parents, again, do not fret. I know this is a lot of information. This will all be available on our YouTube channel in the next couple weeks. I've linked the link to the YouTube channel there, so you can check it out in just a few weeks. All right, Miss Cameron, let's get you on that stage. I think we are ready.
Let me know when you can see it.
Not quite yet, but let's see. I'm going to get you on there again. Now you are on the stage and we can see your presentation. Yay!
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here. My name is Cameron. I am an in-state recruiter. I cover the areas of Jacksonville and Orlando. Okay, So, just a brief history about USF. We were founded in 1956, which makes us fairly new, but it has not stopped our upward trajectory as far as academic prestige. We also have 3 campuses, but we are one university. Uh, Sorry, my screen, I can't see both at the same time. You're good. No, you're good. Okay. So we are an R1 university, which means that in your first semester, you can partner with some friends or with a professor and be a part of a project or create your own project. We were also invited to the AAU, American Association of Universities. So we have why does it keep changing? We have about 36,000 undergraduate students. 11% of our student body is going to be international students. We have over 240 undergraduate majors and concentration. And like most public schools, we're going to have that close-knit community. So our student to professor ratio is 22-1. There you go. So just some overview about our campuses. I'm going to start with Tampa. It is our largest campus, having about 30,000 undergraduate students. In total, we're going to have about 40 to 50,000 students, including doctoral and master's students. We have over 700 student organizations that mostly are housed on that campus. And that campus has the first of its kind. I think it may still be the only fully functional Publix, from pharmacy to deli to all things in between. So it's just something that we like to mention. Our St. Pete campus is going to be our middle size one with about 4,000 to 5,000 students. And our Sarasota Manatee is going to be about 2,000 students, being our smallest. It's going to give you that liberal arts private school type of feel. Something I do want to mention is that the Tampa campus has 15 plus housing options with 3 dining halls on campus. And it is about 2.5 miles big, so it's very big, but we try and make sure that there's food options all across the campus. St. Pete is going to have one dining hall as well, and so is Sarasota. So we have over 700 clubs and organizations ranging from academic clubs all the way to Oreo eating clubs and everything in the middle. We have 40 active fraternities and sororities that are mostly housed out of the Tampa campus as well. We have 40 sports clubs. We are D1 in all of our sports that are on a collegiate level, as well as 15 intramural sports. And we are currently in the process of building our very own stadium. We currently play at the Raymond James Stadium, so we get to experience the NFL type of experience for now, but we broke ground last year, and so we're very excited about that. So I'm just going to go through the 4 simple steps of how to apply. First step, submit your application, and you're going to do that through our website or Common App. But like Maggie said, we do want you to only do one of those. So please only apply either or, not both. Then you're going to submit that application fee or that application fee waiver. And then we're going to ask for your test scores. So that's going to be your SAT, ACT, or CLT. And then your STARS, which is your self-reported transcript academic records report. So in our evaluation process, we're going to recalculate your GPA. So those pre-AP, pre-IB honors, as well as the AP, IB, ACE, and dual enrollment courses are going to give you either a half point or extra point in your GPA. And for test scores, we are going to super score. So if you want to submit 1,000 of them, that's totally fine with us. We're going to take the highest of those scores and go from there. So this is just a middle 50% of admitted students from last year. This is usually what we're looking for. Fall is going to be a little bit higher than summer because it is more competitive. Everyone wants to try and start for fall. We recommend that students that want to start for fall, but this number scares them, we recommend that they apply as early as possible and choose whichever semester and campus you truly want. So this is going to be our deadlines. We're going to have that early action being due November 1st, coming up really fast. And our materials deadline is going to be November 15th, with the decision coming out in December versus our regular decision application being December 15th, and you won't get a decision back until February 11th. And then rolling is March 1st. So our cost of attendance is going to vary depending on where you stay. If you stay on campus, Tampa is very large, so there are a lot of options off campus for students. We do not require students to live on campus, and they are welcome to bring a car in their first year. So it's going to be that 6,410, and every other number on the screen is going to vary depending on what options you choose that we offer. When you apply for admission, we are going to automatically assess you for our merit-based scholarships. They range from $2,000 to $4,000 each year, and they are on a rolling basis, which just means that every single year that you qualify with the GPA requirements, we are going to continue to give you those scholarships. And that you must have your documents in by January 15th to be considered. So now that FAFSA is finally open, we do encourage all of our students to apply. We want to give the students the best opportunities possible. And all of our merit-based scholarships are going to be stackable with every other scholarship that you may receive, even through the FAFSA and Bright Futures. We also recommend that they apply for the FAFSA because it will give them the automatic deferment for our university. So instead of your tuition and fees being due that first Friday of the first week of classes, it may be pushed back a little bit more so you can go ahead and figure everything out. Our Judy Genshaw Honors College is available on all 3 campuses. It will provide you with an extra advisor as well as priority registration, except for athletes. They will get to choose first all the time. It will also give you the opportunity to explore additional scholarships that they may offer and our living learning community, which means that you will be living with other honors college students and you will move throughout the cohort with them. We also offer through the Honors College our 7-year accelerated BS to MD program, as well as our 3+3 accelerated bachelor's to JD program. We are the number one medical school in Florida. So a lot of students are very much interested in our BS to MD program, and their priority application tends to follow our application process a little bit. So their priority application is going to be due November 15th. So we do like to touch on this because we are in Tampa and there are a lot of community colleges around us. If you go to another university or a community college and decide that that is not what you want to do anymore and you want to transfer to us, the application process for that is also very easy. It's going to be submit your application through only the website, then the application fee waiver, submit your transcripts, and if you do not get your AA and you just have enough credits to be considered a transfer student, then we might have to look at your test scores and your high school transcripts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cameron. If you wouldn't mind putting your contact information in the chat, just like the rest of our panelists today.
Yeah.
We have just appreciated all of you and your expertise. At this time, would like, if any parents or caregivers would like to share some questions. I know we've had a couple in the chat already come through. I think they were mostly directed to UCF. Let's see, and we are documenting all of those questions and you will be contacted. If our son wants to dual enroll in senior year at UCF, what are the requirements?
Hey, unfortunately, this is not my area of expertise. I'm assuming you're asking that he is a senior and he wants to take dual enrollment classes at UCF. Unfortunately, I'm undergraduate admission, so I do not have a lot of info on this. However, I would encourage you guys to reach out to your administrator at the high school, see what their requirements look like, if UCF has communicated with them what we're looking for, or to reach out if we have a dual enrollment office. I would say literally just Google UCF dual enrollment. I'm sure a contact will pop up. You can ask them if there are requirements. However, if it's going to be college level classes at the high school, college level classes while in high school. It would probably be similar requirements if there are any for any other dual enrollment classes at any other universities. So I do apologize, wish I had a better answer, but unfortunately it's just not my area of expertise. I did see one other one just above it asking
Yes.
about how we recalculate the GPA as well. So we are on a 5.0 scale at UCF. That's why that GPA is higher. So if you guys don't go up to a 5.0 scale, do not worry. It's very similar to what USF does for their recalculation. Any regular classes will be on a 4.0 scale. If you take any pre-AP, pre-IB, pre-ACE, or honors courses, that will be on a 4.5 scale. So again, they'll get that additional half point of weight for those classes if they pass them. For any AP, IB, ACE, or dual enrollment classes, those are on the 5-point scale. That is why we have the 5-point scale, and those courses will be awarded an extra full point on the recalculation. Unfortunately, I cannot quite give you the exact like translations of what they would be, because we quite literally sit at our computers with a calculator and we like physically recalculate the GPAs. But if that makes any sense, it's essentially just going to be more weight for those classes that were more rigorous in high school. And when they do well in those classes, it'll boost that GPA. We do encourage students, don't worry too much about it just because our office will handle this recalculation. Just do well in your classes. We do mostly like to see A's and B's.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I'm sure it's such a process. So that parent said thank you. Are there any other parents that have questions for any of our other panelists that are in the chat? Or if any of our other panelists want to chime in and share anything additional that you didn't cover earlier. Oh, okay. We've been to you on a campus visit. Let me see. This past March, can you remind me, what school are you looking for? Okay, Florida Gulf Coast University. It looks like they're asking, we've been to you at a campus visit through past March. Can you remind me about when you apply for the honors program?
Nice. Okay. Well, I definitely hope you enjoyed your tour here. It is a beautiful campus for sure. And we'd like to see you back on campus again. But the honors program, usually they would send out invitations to students whenever you're admitted. So whenever we release decisions, so if you apply early action and you're admitted, you really only need one of two different merit considerations as far as like GPA. We'll look for I believe they'll send out invitations if you have at least a 3.5 weighted GPA, and then on the test scores, there'll be at least a 1220 SAT or 25 ACT. And if you have those test scores, they will automatically send out invitations for you to apply to the Honors College. A little bit different than the other programs, just while it seems like a hot topic as far as recalculating GPAs, we only take the GPAs the weighted GPAs off the transcript. So we do not do any recalculations to any of the GPAs. So if you know that you have 3.5 weighted or the 1220 SAT or 25 ACT, then I would just say, make sure you're applying early action so you can get the invitation to apply. They usually release them in January for you to do it. But you don't necessarily have to be invited to apply. You can also find the application on the website and also submit the Honors College application as well. So
Great. Thank you so much.
absolutely.
Yeah. Now, this is for everyone, and whoever wants to take this one. How do you consider international grades if they have a mix of them, freshman and sophomore? Beth, I see you shaking your head, or up and down, nodding your head. Do you want to
Yes,
answer that?
we have students who apply to us who have some high school outside of the United States. In that case, we would not have them complete the STARS form with their transcript information. Instead, they would actually just upload copies of their transcripts to us, and our international team would do the appropriate review. We do not require official transcripts at that time. It would be official transcripts required if a student were admitted.
Wonderful. Thank you. Does anyone else want to chime in?
Just to add on to that, UCF does the same thing. If you're coming from an international high school, we'll ask for those international high school transcripts. Our UCF global team will be the ones to evaluate them, and then you will go on from there.
Okay, so I think that answers that other question about dual. And it says, if my daughter is in her junior year of high school but comes from another country, can she apply for dual enrollment in UCF, considering that she hasn't established a GPA in the US?
Again, I'm not a dual enrollment expert. Unfortunately, it's not my office. We just don't handle dual enrollment. However, I shouldn't be an issue as long as it's okay with the high school you're attending. I feel like that's probably going to be who you would probably speak with about dual enrolling, just because that is going to be, instead of going to high school classes, you'll be going to UCF classes. But it shouldn't be an issue as long as the high school is okay with it. And again, if there are any requirements that the student meets those requirements, should be good to go.
And can she, if she's a junior but completed most of her AP classes, can she apply before her senior year to UCF?
No. Just because if you apply while you're a junior, you still have an entire year. And we only do applications for like current upcoming terms. So if they're a junior now and they apply for what we have open now, the application is going to be expired by the time they actually are ready to apply. I believe this is for me and probably the majority of my other colleagues. It's going to be the August of your senior year is when you're going to want to start looking when those applications open. I know for UCF, it's August 1st. So the August of your senior year, that is when you should be submitting applications, getting us those materials, all that good stuff.
I see lots of heads nodding through all the panelists, so I think that is a consensus there, that August of your senior year. That's really crunch time for that. Awesome. Do we have any additional questions for our panelists? And please note, you will have the contact information of each of our panelists tonight. So if you do have a specific question about your child or your student, you can certainly reach out to them. We will be sharing that information. Before we wrap up tonight, I want to personally invite you all to our upcoming Parent Academy events. They are all designed to help you stay informed, connected, and empowered. Check out the chat now for the registration links and mark your calendars. Thank you for spending your evening with us. Oh, I do see another question real quick. Let me just get this last one. Do you look at senior grades for admission? Looks like University of Florida is saying no. Do we have anybody
We
else
look at
who wants
senior
to-
year schedule, but grades only through the end of the junior year.
All right. Is that pretty much for everybody else too?
At UCF, we do allow our seniors to go in and update your Spark form. It traditionally will be with just your first semester senior year grades. So if you don't already have your decision, we can take those into account for your admissions decision.
And I would just say it just depends, honestly. If we're asking for like an increase in your GPA, like because we try to take a little more of a holistic view of it. So if you have a situation that is going on in your life and you end up submitting a mid-year transcript and it falls in line with kind of what you're talking about as far as in the essay or whatever the case is, we'll definitely take a look at the mid-year transcript. To give you that opportunity to improve your GPA, although it probably won't move much in half a year, but it still does. It could help with your profile for FGCU for sure.
Yeah, USF is going to be pretty much the same. We're going to look at your senior year classes just to look at the rigor of them, but we're mostly going to be looking from 9th to 11th just to see if there was any progression of grades.
Great. Thank you so very much. So as we close out tonight, I want to just thank you again for spending your evening with us. Your engagement means everything, and we are honored to be a part of your journey. Until next time, keep advocating, keep learning, and keep showing up for your kids. Thank you all for joining us this evening, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you, panelists.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.